I'm Manouk Akopyan. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to our partners, personal injury attorney Nelson Gevorkyan. Hi, everyone. I am joined by heavyweight contender Michael Hunter. He's getting ready to come back April 19, Showtime Boxing's promotion show in Los Angeles. Opponent to be determined, but Michael, you're getting ready for the comeback. It's an interesting time right now in the heavyweight division. Uh, Seems like any given fighter could lose on any given night. We just saw it on the Riyadh season show. Uh,
Absolutely.
Bacoli, a former adversary of yours, he fell short on short notice. We had Li Zhang getting knocked out by Agit Kabayel. But before we get into all of that, let's catch up on your end. How's life? How's everything?
Oh man, I can't complain. I'm constantly training. I got a little, extra little side mission that I'm doing right now, but I'm constantly in the gym and um, I'm pushing for my opportunity to jump into Riyadh season and any other big fights that can present to me. So
Absolutely, and you're a Saudi veteran. A lot of people forget that you were on that undercard with Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. Fought against Povetkin to a competitive fight. Ended up being a draw, but you have that experience being one of the first people to fight in Saudi as these events have gotten warmed up in recent years. It's hot as ever right now. Uh,
yeah.
how do you see yourself in the heavyweight picture at this point?
Well, back then it was, it was I was the first one. We were the first show basically to open up. I'm pretty sure it's changed. They move fast. They were already building and moving stuff. So, but the people and environment was, it was cool. They didn't really know when to cheer or not. I think they got a little different, accustomed to having different fights and different people in there now. So I think the arena might be a little bit different. But yeah, so I just see myself trying to, put the pressure on them and making these big fights actually happen, whether they're on Riyadh or not. I mean, obviously they're going to be on Riyadh. Everybody's fighting there, but I definitely should. We all know that I should be having these type of shots because I'm the best fighter out there right now. So, we can obviously there's Usyk, but there's a big argument there for me. So I just haven't had the opportunity, and that's what we're looking to do for starting April 19th.
Absolutely, and it seems like a lifetime ago you fought Usyk and Bacoli. Usyk was 2017. You were a cruiserweight at the time. It was a unanimous decision loss, the only one of your career. And then in 2018, two fights after that, Usyk, you scored a stoppage win against Bacoli, and it was one of it now goes down as the best win of your career. What do you need to do to get that kind of an opportunity again? Because you've obviously gotten it, but for whatever reason, throughout the last few years, you haven't gotten those big name opponents.
Yeah, before, I was, even on pretty much all the promotional companies, I've always kind of been on the B side, which I had no problems with. But, uh, now that I'm, everybody knows me and I've made enough, a loud enough noise, they would just have to put the money behind me and be there to support me. I don't think that I never really did get any of those the big guys to support when I was with the big companies. So, but I've always, anytime I've always rise to occasion. Anytime I was the B side or I was expected to lose in the odds. So, I beat all odds and I'm gonna continue. So. We all know that my record it speaks for itself. My pedigree. We just need to get those fights and get these guys to start, manning up and actually speaking the truth.
I mean, at 36, you're still young for a heavyweight, aren't you?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
how 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 have you been staying sharp on the sidelines as well?
Oh man, just I mean, it's a lifestyle for me to stay in the gym, constantly working out. I try and I don't do too much boxing, crazy stuff. I've been doing boxing all my life, so I try to stay fit. Um, you know, for when it's time to start getting prepared for war and going into those long training camps and sparring and stuff like that. So I haven't really had those, those gruesome training camps lately, which those are my favorite part of the, is one of my favorite parts of the sport is in that is honing in all my energies and stuff like that and competing and putting them all on display on one night. So I haven't had those great opportunities as much as I would like to, but we're trying to create them as best as we can. You know, but we know that the heavyweight division. I deserve to be right where everybody else is. They're basically recycling the guys. These guys are losing, and they may win some and lose some, but they're recycling them. You know what I'm saying? So there's some other guys coming up. Wardley, we got Moses, and we got a couple other heavyweights coming up, but they're still not quite in the contingents yet. So I've been here for quite some time, and it's been my time for quite some time for a while now. So I'm just looking for that opportunity.
Absolutely. And like we talked about, the division is changing on its head of on an event by event basis. Um, the hot topic could be old news, but by the time it's said and done, what do you make of the entire heavyweight picture right now? And who are some guys you think could be likely opponents for you?
Well, I mean, my only dream fight is to fight Usyk again at heavyweight. It's been quite some time. That's competitively, that's the only fight I really want. Um, you know, I have been picking on and calling out Martin Bakoli for quite some time for the rematch because he thought it was a fluke, and he's been saying that, but never really mentions my name or is always kind of running from me. So um, those are different fights for me. But any of those guys, I feel like I would compete and whoop all of those guys, and they pretty much know it. Usyk is, the only competitor and the only one I really want to compete with. Hopefully, I can pull him out of his retirement one day, and we could go at it a couple more times and call it quits. That's my plan.
Yeah, and obviously you would need to put together that comeback campaign for yourself to get to Usyk, get his attention, and there's a lot of great fights out there for you. Well, I mean, looking at guys who just came off a loss, who need to, fight a credible opponent like yourself, Deontay Wilder, Li Zhang. There's a lot of people out there who fought Philip Hergovich, who one time, you were in IBF. You two were tied together in the IBF. Who do you think out of those? Who would you like out of those three? Would you like the All American fight against Wilder?
I like that fight. I think all these fights are great fights for me. Deontay Wilder, Usyk, Martin Bakoli, Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. I think there's a lot of great fights that and a lot of great noise that I can make. A lot of performances great performances that I can put on that will secure my legacy. Um, you know, I think if you watch my site, I'm an exciting fighter. I'm a small heavyweight, so I have to battle these giants. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little guy battling giants, so um, it's exciting to watch David slay Goliath. You know what I'm saying? So I just need for somebody to help me put the energy behind me, and we gonna do as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get there eventually. I'm still in shape. I'm still young. Usyk and them, they're older than me, so a little bit older than me. So and he's still fighting at his top of his best, and so am I. So I just need the opportunity. That's it. Once that door opens, you already know. Well, there's a great American heavyweight on its way. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was disrespectful for them to call Jared Anderson, the great American heavyweight, but he's been more active. You know what I'm saying? He's been more seen in the scene than I. But as you can see, the proof is in the pudding. My track record holds weight for itself. So. Uh, Andy Ruiz would be a great fight. I fought him in the amateurs. Um, that'd be
Earl
a good
Miller.
one. Jarrell Miller, Andy Ruiz, because it's a good Mexican West Coast fight. You know, that would be a good draw for the West Side. So there's a lot of great fights for me.
Absolutely. I guess that now it's just a matter of getting it done, right? Because you're not the only one who needs the dance partner. They need him too.
That's
Andrew
right.
Andrew Ruiz, Jarrell Miller, Jared Ennis, like Deontay Wilder. They're, all these guys, they can't go straight to Usyk. They can't go to Dubois or Parker
That's
right
right.
now. They need to. You guys need to kind of separate yourselves amongst each other.
Right, I agree, and that's why I say they're trying to shuffle them, and really they're trying to get rid of the American, slowly but surely, or if they're not trying, they are, getting rid of the American heavyweight. We had a few of them in Riyadh, and now there's not too many left.
Yeah, it hasn't. With Wilder and Anderson obviously fighting on the Riyadh season shows that they didn't hold up to their end of the stick, and we see guys like Joseph Parker who've had a career resurgence, and then Jay Lee Zhang, guys like Jay Lee Zhang who've been able to win one, lose one, win one, lose one, but still get the fights that they are getting.
Yes. Yes, so we have a lot of but because there's America is slowing down, or they say dying, if you will. America's always had the best athletes, the best managers, promoters. So we always ran the sport. So that just means there's a giant open market for promoters, managers, and fighters alike to come into the American scene and make something happen for themselves. It's one of the only sports that you don't have to be a professional, call yourself a professional, to actually be a professional. You could just, you don't have to go to school or college or do anything like that. Just go get a license and educate yourself, and you can make something happen. And that's usually what happens over the last few years. There's been one person that rise to the top, and now we have Turkey, kind of in control of things. But that doesn't mean that the market isn't open for the United States to make headway for something to happen. So.
Absolutely. And again, you're going to be making your return April 19, United States, set for Los Angeles, tentatively. Any opponents that have been in the mix?
Yeah, we're looking at Gerald Washington. We're looking at a couple other guys. Gerald Washington's a great opponent because he's from on the West Side. He's black and Mexican. That's going to be basically our target audience over in that area, and so that's a good one. There's a couple other guys that are in that area that we would like to choose, but and we want to choose challenges. That's why we chose somebody like Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington has a great record, and he's fought the top fighters. You know what I'm saying? So he has a lot of experience, and we want to find somebody that's suitable, that could put up a good fight.
Yeah, and again, the heavyweight division, I feel like we rattled off a lot of names, and we still haven't gotten to guys like Virgil Ortiz, Fabio Wardley, F.A. Ajagba. Literally everyone is out there, and like you said, these fights could be shuffled. Do you think? But do you think the Bacoli fight could ever happen again? I'm sure he wants to get that L back on his record.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it may could have he would have been more inclined to do it. Uh, you know, before he got knocked out. Now, I think that he's going to be a little bit more cautious. And I think everybody else is going to be a little bit more, fearless when it comes to Martin Bacoli because, before when I fought him, you basically had to you know, go into the deep waters to get rid of him. You would have to have heart, grit, and hit him a lot. You know what I'm saying? The way I was able to stop him, I had to go through the trenches. It wasn't just a one hitter quitter like Joseph Parker was able to do. So now that that has happened, people can say, well, okay, well, they know that he could be knocked out. So people are going to be more inclined to even fight him. He's going to have to work his way up, back up like he did, after me defeating him. So, which he's a champion, and he's a good fighter. So I know he will come back. But we'll see. a lot will tell us with the F.A. Ajagba fight of how he returns. You know what I'm saying? So even F.A. Ajagba was probably confidence. I mean, if I was fighting him, my confidence would rose after him getting knocked out and having to fight me next. So
Yeah, and then we have obviously Usyk, who is the king of the division. Do you see? You feel confident, obviously, beating Usyk if you get the chance. But do you see anyone else giving Usyk a challenge? We've seen him put away Joshua and Fury and Dubois. But do you see anyone currently be able to give Usyk a challenge?
Mm, I mean, a challenge, yes, because I think Tyson Fury gave him a challenge, but he was able to overcome it. I think I'm basically the only real competitor out there, and we've seen that. If you look at the cruiserweight fight, very early, you've seen who was the boxer and who was the fighter, and I think that I'm still here. A lot of the other guys he ever had even any trouble with, they're not even fighting anymore, or they're retired or something like that. So, um, I think I deserve to get that rematch and to compete at the highest level, and for people and the fans to see two competitors compete at the highest level as a heavyweight.
And speaking of competing at the highest levels, Anthony Joshua, a lot of people have opinions about where his career is going to go from here. He's been uneven throughout the last few years. Do you think Joshua can still compete at the highest level?
Well, I mean, I think so because he's still young. It's not like he's diminished physically. He has the same physical attributes that he's always had. So if he could compete then he could compete now. It's just that it's all about his mind and his mental. If he could get that right, and we know that Anthony Joshua has a lot of mental. He a lot of his stuff is mental, is what I'm trying to explain. And I don't know if he just takes things personally or whatever, but uh, the mind can be, can turn on and turn off and like a light switch. So all he has to do is have the right mindset, and he was working on it. He was working on. I think he let it go when it came to the Daniel Dubois fight. I always comment on Anthony. Anthony has a lot to do with his ego or his mentality. He's not, I wouldn't say ego. It's more of his mentality and how he approaches the fight. I think that he just kind of lets his stuff, his head, he gets in his own way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he could, depending on, you know, I mean, he has all the money, he has everything. I mean, these guys are, Tyson Fury. These guys are talking about depressions and mental illnesses and situations, but they have everything that for what it takes to get healthier, to get better. You know what I'm saying? So only Anthony Joshua will be able to answer that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, his last fight, his latest showing was his worst showing, getting just dominated by Dubois, and and that's why naturally these questions now are being asked on whether or not we'll ever see the same AJ. But he's getting ready. He's getting ready to come back. And look, he wanted to fight Fury. He needs a dance partner as well too, because Fury's out, going to be retired. Who knows what AJ's future would look like? And I'll let you go with this one, Michael, with
Mhm.
your future over the next year and a half. By the end of 2026, what would be the perfect scenario for you? Map it out and speak it into existence.
Well, one, I would definitely be fighting for a title this year, or the end of this year. Um, Also, I would be, getting a Riyadh season and basically having a Michael, welcome home Michael Hunter come out party. I've been known, I'm known around the community. Everybody knows, my abilities and stuff like that. Um, and I just, like I said, just the opportunity has not arisen. And once I get it, I'm gonna jump on it, and that would be the ideal year. It's just me getting the opportunity to shine. I think everything else will fall in place. I, like I said, I'm not exactly, as long as I get the titles and I get to fight Usyk again, that's kind of my only bucket list. Everything else, I just want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? I want to be fighting amongst the top elites.